Hey guys, it's Russell back, and on today's video, it is August the 2nd, 2020. This is actually the second video that I am shooting today. Can you imagine that? I wanted to do this because, well, the Jetta's engine bay is absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to be using Schaefer's Citrol 266 as the degreaser. Now, this is the absolute best degreaser I have ever used. I'm gonna say that there are more powerful cleaners, like brake parts cleaner, etc., but you don't want to clean your entire engine with brake parts cleaner. That's really expensive. So back in the, I'm gonna say early 80s, STP engine cleaner and gunk and all that brand, those things were really good. That's before the EPA got their nasty hands and everything to try to make everything more environmentally friendly. It's a freaking cleaner, man. It's supposed to break down grease and dirt and grime and all that. So the stuff that they put out now is so horrible, it's just COVID-19, just kidding. It's so horrible it doesn't really work. So Citrol 266 is made from, I think it's orange peels. Oranges, it's citrus. It's not toxic at all. It's actually got an absolutely wonderful orange scent to it because it's orange oil and maybe some other stuff in there. But that's what I'm going to use to clean the Jetta's engine bay. Now I do this about once a year and it is so dirty, it's unbelievable. Being a diesel, it gets dirtier. And number two, the Pcv system, positive crankcase ventilation system that Volkswagen has on this 1.9 TDI is horrible. It doesn't work very well. It always leaks and gets oil vapor around, which just makes the engine messy. So it is, I've tried everything in the world to stop it. Even silicone in the joints, it just doesn't work. So it's done that for 22 years. It doesn't get enough leakage to where it actually drips on the concrete unless you know, for months and months and months and months, if you don't do anything about it, yeah. But I have found, I'll show you guys a little trick I use with something called a pig towel. Anyway, enough talking and blabbing. Let's look at the Jetta's engine compartment. The engine is warm. I drove it a couple hours ago, so it's warm, it's hot outside, so it's perfect to do this. And no, I'm not going to use a pressure washer. You thought I was going to use a pressure washer. No, we'll use hose pressure only. Let's go take a look. All right, so you can see the oil. There's oil residue. This is the positive crankcase ventilation system. Here's where the oil is supposed to condense and it will collect, the drops will go back in the crankcase. It has leaked at this joint and this joint forever. I've replaced the discs, I've siliconed this, I've done everything in the world. Trick to do. I know there are kits out there, maybe Raccor makes one where it actually replaces this. But the problem is, I just never done it. So I have got a really good trick that I use to keep it from actually dripping down the back of the block, but it's dirty. I mean, there's a lot of just oil residue. And it's all from this. Okay, so on this side of the engine, not bad at all. But this has probably been a year or so since I've cleaned it. So yeah, I'm going to show you how we do that. It's not hard at all. You got to be careful. Okay, it's Volkswagen electronics are not the most robust things in the world. I would probably say the most robust would be the connectors General Motors uses. But anyway, so you have to be careful. That's why I'm not using a pressure washer. We're just going to use hose pressure. 90% of the cleaning is going to be done with a Citrol. Let me set the tripod up and we'll go to town. All right, so I spray everything. All right, I set this up on a stream and I spray everything. I just start at the top, work my way down. All right, so I've let this dwell probably about 15-20 minutes, and I'm just going to go ahead and spray the engine off, and it's just this simple. But that Citrol does a phenomenal job. It really does. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to run the engine a little bit, let it dry, and then we'll come back and look at the final result. Alright, I want to show you guys something real quick. This is, you may not have heard about these. These are called PIG. P-I-G, PIG pads. These are oil absorbent pads. And what I do is I will take this pad and I will put it under here like this. No, it's not going to catch on fire, so don't worry. I've been doing this for years. I put that right there, and that will basically absorb the oil vapor that comes out of there minutely and will prevent the oil from dripping down the block. So I take half of the pad and then cut it in half, and these are phenomenal for oil. Best thing I've ever found in my entire life. But anyway, the engine's nice and clean. It's mostly dry, and as you can see, if you go back and look at the first part of the video, it really is. Citrol does a fine job. So that's how I keep the Jetta engine bay clean. I've done this for its whole life, and that's it. I don't use any special, I don't even scrub anything. The Citrol is able to degrease everything really well. Now, you can, and I have in the past, use Simple Green. Simple Green works good. It is not nearly as strong as Citrol, but it will do a really good job. If you keep, you know, I probably could have used Simple Green on here, but I had a lot of residue up in here. You can see it's nice and clean now, just from the Pcv valve. But yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. It's how I keep the engine clean. It's the original engine. It's never been opened, the valve cover, except the valve cover to do the timing belt, and I replaced the oil pan gasket once. So I'll do a video when we hit 400,000 miles, and we'll open up, we'll take the valve cover off. I've had people tell me that they don't believe that the engine's that clean inside. Check out my video. We are still in the middle of the 35,000 mile drain interval challenge with Amsoil. That's going to turn over 393,000 today, and I'll have 7,000 more miles. When we get to 400,000, I believe that'll actually be 36,000 miles on the oil that's in here right now. Change the filter about every 12,000 miles. We'll do an oil analysis and let you see the inside of the engine to show you that there's absolutely no sludge whatsoever in this engine. It's still running phenomenal. Still get 55 miles a gallon, and it blows ice cold air out still. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. I will see you on the next video.